Brand new!
Welcome in to Talk of the Shy here today. We have a very special episode. We're talking about the education in America, and I have a very special guest calling in all the way from Oklahoma City. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, everybody. I am simply Sheba, your hostess with the mostest. I'm the host of the Me and Mine show, where we discuss local social events that's going on. We have a podcast where we interview local entrepreneurs, artists, etc. To highlight specifically African American business. But where I'm from, if you are on the grind and trying to get it all on your own, we'll highlight you too. So it's not like we're exclusive to anyone, but primarily we try to show the people, what's going on around the town. And that's about it. Tune in to us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the Me and My Show.
That
You know
part.
what I mean?
It's
You can find
definitely
us everywhere. We in that thing. Also tune into our video show, O City, O City. So if you got some dope music and you want to put it in rotation, you get your video on, it's O City to Yo City. You can also find on Facebook, YouTube, etc.
that part. So get y'all music in so y'all could be down in the getting banged down there because she got the plug down there. That's how that work. So listen here. Basically, everybody is watching everything that's been going on lately as far as the education system here. Prior to COVID, as well as the process, how we've had to handle things during COVID, and then what are some of the options that we're looking at now that it's almost time for the kids to go back to school, and COVID is still here and still alive and active. If you're watching the news, you can see that there's more and more cases popping up daily. And
more states are turning red because they're having higher cases and shutting down. They're phasing back from 3 to 1.
Mm-hmm. And I just thank God. I mean, in Chicago, at least, we're not moving backwards as of right now, but we are watching the numbers here as well. But what are some of the things that you all seen as far as the education system goes before COVID even came into play?
Well, prior to COVID, Oklahoma was a state where our education is at risk. We are not within like top 10 best schools. Our public school system is trash. We're like 48 or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, especially in low income and African American communities, and it's due to a lot of funding. But prior to COVID, it was a lot of mix up as far as with our teachers going on strike, because they don't feel like they're getting paid enough. There are not enough materials or resources for their children,
Mhm.
which was making their job even more difficult. We were having a lot of funding cut from our primary schools, which are elementary schools or whatnot. Our colleges receive a lot of money through because we have a lottery, which it's went through like 4 times. We've approved the sales tax. Specifically, how they catered to you to approve this was saying that those monies from the lottery will go towards our kids' education fund. What they didn't tell you is that the secondary schools, which are your elementary schools, get the last of the funding, because I've never even understood why the colleges get any of it when we have in Oklahoma. If you're familiar with, I think everybody know OU and OSU. Our colleges are sponsored and boosted by, just like any other college, how they're saying players should, get stipends or some kind of compensation because they make so much money off their sports team. Well, we're a football state, and that's the same thing for us. But they also receive some of the funding, which leaves our secondary schools lacking, and it leaves our secondary schools in low income communities lacking even further due to lack of materials, teachers not want to work in those areas, lack of parent participation. So prior to COVID, I don't think parents in the state of Oklahoma were happy anyway. I think we were making some changes because we put in a lot of legislations to give raises to our teachers. We put in, I'm not saying everything was going back to right, but we were really moving towards, refocusing on our children's education.
So can you repeat that last part that you just said? You guys were doing what?
We had put in legislation, mamas, daddies went to them parent teachers meetings on behalf
Okay.
of our teachers because
Okay.
we was saying pay them. When our teachers went on strike, we was like,
Right.
we with them, it's cool. We sacrificed keeping our kids at home, and some late people missing work in order to get them, which made legislation give which changed some of our legislation bills were wrote into, where we gave our teachers, well, they went in, I'm gonna say that the
Mhm.
teachers union and and the state went in and came to an agreement about upping their rate, their pay and benefits due to those particular events happening. Without those events happening, without our teachers going on strike, without parents being supportive of said teachers, I don't really think it would have been, we have one of the number one programs to teach teachers at
Mhm.
OU. This is where people come from all over the state to come here to become educators. And
Mhm.
then as soon as they graduate, they leave and go somewhere else. Not because Oklahoma's not a good state, but because they won't pay them.
Right. Indeed. And when that makes the most sense. I mean, if you're at the top institution, then you should make the top dollar in a
I
sense.
mean, considering the amount of
Money that you pay to get
tuition
it.
they had to pay in
Yeah.
order to receive that degree. But that's a whole,
That's a
we
whole
heard
nother
about the little
topic.
kids today.
That's a whole other topic in itself. But I think here in Chicago, we faced a lot of those same issues. I think it's the only thing that we've been lacking here is that second part. That's why I wanted you to reiterate on that. It's not enough parent participation, I believe, and getting these things done, and people that's really wanting to tackle these issues and these problems. Um, it's just clear that a lot of our schools even here have been shut down, torn down. Kids have been forced to go into neighborhoods that they know for years they fight and been in wars and stuff like that. So kids not wanting to go to school just because of that. But I mean, these are all issues that we know are going on. But I don't think it's enough people together collectively to actively do something about those things here as of yet. That's why I felt it was very,
Well,
very
I'm not
important.
familiar with the population of, I don't have, I can pull it up in a minute, but what I'm saying, I don't know
I'm listening to you.
I don't know the statistics, there as far as people, but I think your city is a bit bigger than mine. You have the community, you just don't have the people willing. So it's not a matter of you don't have the parents or you have the community. If I'm not mistaken, Chicago is primarily a minority city. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the exposure that we get per media.
Right.
I haven't got the stats for it today, but what I'm saying is you have the community. What you don't have is the people willing to sacrifice or put in the work because they're there. Trust me, that
Right.
they're the parents to these kids we talking about. They're the parents to the kids that don't want to go in them bad neighborhoods. They're the parents to them kids that's suffering from their lack of educations in school. They're the parents that to these kids that 1 in 4 children are not eating every day. They're the parents. So you have the community. You just don't have the people that those persons in that community willing to step up and do those things.
Correct. That's correct. So I think that's more or less what we need. A couple more people to step up and put the initiative to actually get some of them things started and going here. But that's another reason why I want to have the conversation again, because we do need those things attacked and looked at in that same frame of mind so that we can bring change the correct way to our communities and we can see the results that we really want to see hands on. Um, One of the other topics that I also want to get on while we were here, and we were speaking about the actual school system and how everything breaks down as far as where the money gets spent, how everything in itself works as far as education itself. Do you think that it actually works as it is right now even if the teachers were to get paid the equivalent of what they are supposed to get paid, do the education system that's in place right now still work?
I do not, because the education system that's currently, the curriculums that are currently in place are exclusive curriculums. It's not in a country full of diversity. It's the curriculum does not fit nor does it meet everybody that it's supposed to. So no, I don't think that if we were able to, pay the educators what they think that they are supposed to have. I mean, it's a lot of factors. I'm not going to say it's just the curriculum. You don't have parent participation like you should. You don't have children. Children are not excited about learning anymore. You like outside of the social aspect, no one's really wanting to go to school. 20 years ago when I was going to school, people were dropping out early, ninth grade, 10th grade. They're dropping out at middle school now. I mean, like eighth grade, it's over. I'm supposed to live my life and supposed to jump in the stroke. What is it? Jump off the porch. You know what I'm saying? And get this money or whatever the narrative is, or whatever they choose as their narrative. But it's a lot of factors. It's the curriculums, it's
Hmm.
the parent involvement. The biggest thing for me is the funding, though. It's not necessarily just paying the teachers. Those things encompass the funding. You can, if you have appropriate funding, you can pay your teachers. You can get the curriculums that need to be taught. You can do things to entice the children to have fun and learn. Children
Hmm.
don't have like when it comes to politics, like say for instance, they want to build a highway in your
Hmm.
city or whatnot, and you guys are strapped for cash. In most cities, the first thing, the funding to be cut, because it's not like they go ask and borrow money. They Peter to pay Paul. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
So the first thing they'll say is that I'm just going to use X amount of dollars. We need $1,000 to build this bridge or whatnot, right? So they're going to go and say, well, where we go get this money from? Because we're pushed to the limit everywhere. We've taxed our people. What do we do? So this is when they start cutting funding the same way. You like, I'm gonna put 50 on my light bill. I'm gonna put 75 because you only have so much amount of money. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So therefore, the first programs that are usually, which is crazy to me, that are usually taken from are hospitals, the medical programs, and the school programs. Hence why children have a lack of sports programs anymore. This is why there are no more electives like shop and painting, trades that they gave you in high school that now you have to pay a tuition, although it's a lower amount than college, 4-year college or even community college. They still have put a X amount of dollars on trades that they used to give away to you, at
Hmm.
least when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? You go take
Right.
shop or auto mechanics, you could leave high school and go work at the shop. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't have to have a degree. So, but those are the systems. So if you really like right now, while we're going through COVID, they're doing a lot of experimentation. They're introducing policy and legislation without funding, though,
Right.
because now we're going to go into virtual learning. But where are we going to get the money for the technology? So I can attack several points, but if I was going to say the main thing in my mind that would change the flow of education at this time is what changes the whole world: money.
That part. That's what it's gonna really take, a collective unit of money. So at this point, a lot of people was using the option as homeschooling as well. Um, I know up here I heard a couple stories where people have tried to do that, but the system fights them really hard about getting their kids homeschooled, as far as getting the required paperwork in order to be able to do that. Um, what are some of the options that you all have as far as homeschooling down there?
Well, being that we're talking about prior to COVID, homeschooling is an optional thing here. It's not a big deal. There's no red flags. We actually have schools that are catered specifically for homeschools, which they're national schools like Epic, K-12, but they're provided in my city, not just my state, but in my city. Um, so it's not a lot of red tape in order. You simply go online, put in the application. It's no different from if you were going into a brick and mortar school to enroll your children. It's not it's still blowing my mind that they are calling CPS on people who choose to educate their children at home. I mean, even prior to the COVID, that is crazy to me because I've homeschooled my kids without any complications. So, and I thought, like I said, I was enlightened to this because I thought that this was a national thing. I thought this was across the nation, that if you chose not to put your kids in a brick and mortar school, that you could educate your children. I didn't know it was so much red tape. So as far as like other states go, I don't have much experience to speak on it. But far as my state and my city from Oklahoma City, it's not hard at all. It's not difficult. We've I have children ranging from 12 to 22, and we've chose from times homeschooling, and then we went back to brick and mortar. It's just, I think it's really dependent upon that particular child, which technique of learning that you choose to engage with.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Sorry there. So now, how was the education system once COVID was actually dropped? Like, what was one of the things that you noticed? Was there a issue or a process as far as switching to the online? Did you feel like the kids like accepted it more, or interacted with that more, or was they less interactive?
On a personal level, and as well as talking to other parents in my city, um, life with school with COVID. For myself, it wasn't like I said, we had previously we had homeschool, so the transition in itself, if you've done it, I don't think would have been a hard one for people who have previously done it. But
Mhm.
in the overall, this shit was disastrous. It was fucking horrible. Like, they stopped us in the middle of school in March. We let out of school May 31st, so that's roughly what, April, May, like a month and a half early. They let us out of school with no warning. We were literally supposed to be out of school for 2 weeks. They were seeing what's going on, and you know, and then our whole city just shut down. You understand what I'm saying? And it was disastrous because they shut our whole city down and told us our children weren't going back to school without any plans. Something that I really hate is when people try to, when a problem has took a long time, like several years, to become this problem, when they try to fix it within a matter of months, that doesn't work for me. So like I said, prior to COVID, we already had certain situations going on in the schools, and then this hit us, and no one was prepared. And I don't mean like parents, I mean the educators weren't prepared, our teachers weren't. I felt so sorry for them. Our educators weren't prepared. Our administrative educators, the people who are over our principals and our teachers, they weren't prepared. Our school board wasn't prepared. No one was, like, there was no contingency plans for this. When they initiated
Mhm.
the virtual learning and saying, well, this is what we're going to have to do for the rest of the year, and then we go into the summer, it was simply a matter of, you can do it online, which I know technology. I do know technology is the way of the world. I know everybody think you can just jump on a Zoom call, but we are talking about impoverished neighborhoods. We are talking about we're talking about people who make minimum wage. Not that they don't go to work every day, that they're not working hard. Their jobs is just not paying enough to meet ends. That you can incorporate the $75 to $100 internet bill into your budget. You understand what I'm saying? So no, I want the world to get out the. And then you have just older people with younger children. You have a lot of women and men who are in their 40s, 50 years old. Technology is not their thing, but they still have small children. You understand? It's 10, 11. Yes, people still have
Right.
kids as they get older, and you still have older parents who are still having to educate their children. So it was disastrous because there was no plan. We went into online learning, and then you could also get paper packets. But as we're doing this, it was basically, there were no grades for it. I think every kid, I'm not sure, they really based it off your existing grades. Um, where we stopped school at. I think they just said everybody go pass because we done messed everybody up. You understand what I'm saying? when they did stop the school, they went to the virtual learning. They had assignments on there. You could not, like, if you didn't have PDF readers, it was certain things that even having technology, it was so difficult. Like my son and I, we were fine with the online learning, but we would go to do the work, which none of the work that we did the last month and a half of school, even through into the summer, none of it was graded. There was no way to grade it because there was no way to turn it in. Like I said, if you didn't have certain PDF readers, if you didn't have PDF readers that allowed you to edit the documents that was sent, some teachers were sending documents that had access locks on them. If you're familiar with Google Classrooms and Google attachments, you'll understand that you can put passcodes on them, and that the people receiving them have to have the passcode even to open up the lesson. This is the kids' schoolwork I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a new job. You understand? Now,
Right.
I'm proficient, and it was kind of difficult for me. So can you imagine the mama who don't care about nothing but Facebook and Instagram, trying to get on her? They had links to things, that every link, in order to use that link to do the schoolwork, you had to create an account like vocabulary.com. You would think just popping up the OKCPS, putting your kid's school ID, your password in there, these links would simply take you to the work and the resource materials that you'll need to complete the work. No, they'll say, go to vocabulary.com. You get to vocabulary.com, and now you got to make a whole account. I don't want an account to vocabulary.com. I don't want them sending me emails every 2 weeks with notifications about it. I just want to be able to open this shit up so this baby can do this work right now.
Now that in itself is insane. I can't say in the least that was together. When I was getting my son's homework, it was coming like they would send the actual packet, and it would include the math portion, the vocabulary, everything would be done in a weekly sense. So he knew what to do this day as far as math, science, social studies, everything else for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I can't say they did have that part together as far as that goes. But how it was graded was this: once he was done, I had to take pictures of everything and send pictures.
Are you serious?
Now, how legible the pictures was, I don't know, but it was proof that we sat down and actually
did
went
the
through the
work.
work and did it. So I guess it was just like what you said, but it did seem like they was like, yeah, we fucked up. Everybody just gonna pass.
We had the paper packets. At least they came and gave them to y'all, or sent them with the papers, because we had the paper packages.
They were in a link. You would click the link, and the link would take you to another website where you had to pick what grade your child was in, and you pick that grade, and then the work would pop up and be like, "This your teacher?" Yeah, and then
right. Then we were getting teachers that weren't even our teachers. Like, we don't even know this lady. Why she's sending us shit? Because she's a sixth grade. I have a sixth grade and an eighth grader. Because she's a sixth grade teacher. Why she's whose email is this? It's not in my contacts. Yeah. I don't know who this lady is. But we also received regular paper packets. The packets that were synonymous to the ones you seen online, they had to print them out. But you had to go to different schools to pick them up. Within the first 2 weeks, all the paper packets were gone. Not to mention, what about the girls who ain't got, in the dudes and the girls who don't have cars?
Right.
Like the transportation. Like people who depend on like the bus transportation in order to get their kids to school. Now, what about these people? How was their baby supposed to be able to do the work?
Right. And that's true indeed. But it was not what you said, contingency plan. So it was nothing that was truly planned out. Only what we could kind of, rock with and kind of go with. But just taking a feel for everything. I know my son, he would do the work, but he wasn't necessarily enthusiastic about it. I think
not at all. They weren't.
The setting of being in the house. Like, he's used to going to school to do schoolwork. So then the transition from now I'm in the house, I got to sit in my room and do some work. I ain't with that. Like,
for the majority of children,
he would do his homework and be just fine. If it's homework, if it's anything else, he been in school all day, he come home, do his homework, get right on the game. But if he been playing all day and I'm like, hey, you got your lessons today, we need to go and just knock them out. Or even if it was in the morning and I just woke him up and was like, hey, let's just knock the lessons out and you could play the rest of the day. He was just like looking at me like, really, Dad? Can we wait like an hour or something? Like, I'm at the crib. I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, his attitude was nonchalant. It wasn't the same. He didn't, like, in the morning when he get up and he getting ready to catch the bus or whatever, he up. He ready. You know what I mean? He want to go. He enthusiastic about starting the day. But I think just from being and we had a little lazy bug. Like, I don't really want to mess with none of that today. I really just want to chill and play the game or
Listen, I
just be in
totally
my zone.
understand. For most children, for the majority of children, that was not school. That was vacation. Like instantly, the day I told my babies, y'all, it's over with. Y'all not going back to school till next year. They was like, "That's what's up."
What's up?
Instantly,
Yeah.
it was PlayStation 4 till 2 o'clock in the morning.
hey,
It was
hey,
Instagram and TikTok.
hey.
You
They just.
understand? And I'm saying, no,
Uh,
we still go to school. They getting mad at me because I'm still jumping up at 8 like it's time to go to school. They like we sleepy. We ain't out yet. But what I'm saying is just like it was for the
uh,
majority of the kids that was vacation,
let me
that was
describe something.
also the same thing with the parents. It was parents saying, "Oh well, shit, they ain't got to go to school. We're not getting up early. We're not gonna continue the routine of getting up early,
Yeah,
teaching, lunch, back to teaching till 3, and then y'all go do what y'all do and
you
go
do.
play." That
Right.
wasn't it. Just like it was like I said, just like it was a vacation for them kids, and they was like, "Oh shit, we good." That was the majority of the parents because you can't blame them. They, of course, they gonna be like, "Hell yeah, let's play P." Like you said, he was looking at you like, "For real, Dad? We got to do 4 more hours. We really got to do school,
Yeah,
like for real." And don't
yeah,
let, like, mine didn't know. I tricked mine and told them, "Y'all don't do this work, y'all go flunk." They didn't even know they wasn't getting grades. But I don't think if I didn't add that, I'm gonna call it an incentive instead of a lie. You understand? If I didn't add that incentive that y'all go flunk if y'all don't do this work, I'm not sure they would have just been so okay. We go do it, mama, because mine, they like school academically. They do very well, but they are very social children. My son plays sports. So the social atmosphere is everything to him. You know what I mean? So when I got to talking about you go flunk, he got to talking about how he'll get benched, he gonna be ineligible. He was like doing the work because he had incentive. You
mhm,
understand what I'm saying? But
correct.
if I don't think if I would have lied to them kids that they would, because even knowing that they were still up 2 o'clock in the morning, Fortnite, TikTok. Do you understand me?
Yeah, and
So I think the whole majority of the kids just felt like this is like the longest. We finally got a real summer vacation
right. No, for
because our
real.
public schools are on a continuous year cycle. They do get like 2 months of summer and then they back. But
We don't do
yeah, they
that
was
here.
like, this is a real summer vacation and we fist to fucking kick it. Do you hear me?
Oh, they was ready for this then. You know what
Yeah,
this was?
they
This
were
was
tired.
see, y'all don't experience these days because it's snow up here. So that's like waking up and then seeing on the news that there's a snow day. You don't got no school because there's too much snow. Oh, it's up here.
Right.
Everybody outside. We finna party till we get a little cold. Then we're going back in the house. It's over with.
For real. And I just, so I agree with you. Because, like I said, for the majority of the kids that felt like they was in a kick it situation, I think the parents felt like they was in a break. And have you noticed? I got a question for you. Have you noticed? I mean, because I was like everybody else. I was making the jokes. I was laughing like, these kids, they ain't eating up all my food. Oh my God, these kids. But now it's like a underlying anger of not being, of having to deal with your children. Like, I don't think understand, like me personally, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is because I personally think homeschooling is going to be the normal for parents. So if you don't like your kids, because this is way it sound like the first month it was funny. Like we in month 3, y'all sound like y'all really don't like y'all kids. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
You sound like you do not like their education doesn't matter to you because I'm with it. I'm with you. I know you gotta for you people who gotta go to work, all of the things that go without saying, I understand that. But I'm talking about when you there every day. What is wrong with you? Because I personally, I don't like the public school system that my children in. I don't feel like they're being adequately taught. I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like the curriculums expound on everything they should be taught. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So I don't have a problem with sitting down because I want them to hear it from me first. So then when they
Mm-hmm.
do go into the school, as opposed to them going in there, learning some dumb shit, coming home to me or getting out in these streets and fucking up because they learn dumb shit in there. I'd
Yeah.
rather I sit down, educate my children, and then when they do go in them schools and they hear their teacher, because the teacher's just a person, say some dumb shit. My baby be the baby on the YouTube
Hey,
clip, like, oh, he's smart. You understand?
I'm a.
Versus my baby be on the motherfucking YouTube clip because he the dumb motherfucker who who was listening to the teacher. You understand what I'm saying?
So listen to me, Sheba. I'm one of them people who I do that, right? I show my kids a lot of things, right? And
Because education is just not a classroom. I just had to put that out
listen
there.
to me. I let little Quan see Hidden Colors one time, right? Now you know Hidden Colors is really long. It's a documentary, but it got a lot of great things in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking he not paying no attention to the movie, right? So tell me why a couple weeks later, Quan is in social studies class, right?
Mm-hmm.
They learning about ancient Egyptian, so to speak, right? So they get to showing these white characters and naming stuff, and my son busts out and say, "Hell no, she lied." And listen to me. So listen, his teacher called me and she left me a voicemail. She was like, you know, I can't tolerate this. He's cursing in the classroom, yada yada. So I get on break, I call her. I'm like, what's going on? What happened? She's like, I was teaching my curriculum, and Quantez just jumped up and said, hell no, she's lying in the middle of my class. And I was trying not to laugh at her, but I was like, what was y'all going over exactly? And she was like, oh, I was showing them ancient Egyptian and this, that, and the third. And I was like, so what were you showing me exactly? She was like, oh, I was showing them pictures of I forget the people that she was naming, but I know them people was black and what we saw. And when them people came up white, son was just like, I ain't feeling that. That ain't the facts.
I'm
I
not
don't know.
falling for the okey-doke.
I
Straight
don't know
up.
what she talking about, y'all, but that ain't it. That ain't what I see, y'all. I'm telling y'all. But I was just like, for me, that was a moment where it was like, I need to keep showing them these type of things because they are watching it. And it is, in a sense, giving even him some black pride about himself to see those things, but then go to school and realize, like, man,
Listen,
they
it's not
really
even
trying to
about
finesse
black
me.
pride. He just needs to have pride.
Now, these the
Period.
facts, period.
You understand? Period. Anybody, black people, white. Listen, the whole problem right now is because we got too much. That's like
No, that's the
I don't.
facts.
I don't. I mean, in this moment, they have too much because in this moment, even in this moment, I think y'all are displaying the lack of self-esteem that you have with some of the comments and some of the things that you're saying. I'm not saying that racism does. Just don't really care.
Right.
Cause this vernacular is all right. My life, I go to work every day. Nobody's putting a racism on me, and it's affecting my life where I can't work, eat, and take care of my kids. I don't do
Facts.
crime, so I don't know about racism with the police. So I don't fuck with them in no kind of way. Whether it be call them or go. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
I'm
for real
anti
though.
fucking with them. So therefore, I don't even know racism with them because I don't interact with them like that. I'm not like if I was a drug dealer, I'm gonna have my license. You really gonna have to have a reason to get in this car. You're not taking me to the penitentiary because I ain't have no fucking license. You understand what I'm saying? If you really fist to get me with this gun, I'm a really own my gun. I'm not fist to go buy the gun for $250 from the nigga that got 6 bodies on it. I don't want your dead bodies on the gun. I want to be able to get it back after I shoot this nigga in his ass. I want them to, dust my hand and give it back to me, motherfucker.
Oh
So I
my
don't.
god.
So
Oh.
I'm not saying don't have
No, that's
black pride.
serious
I'm saying
though.
people need pride.
In
Period.
general.
And
In
I'm
general.
full of it. I'm so full of it that I truly have to humble myself a lot. Because
Indeed.
you're not people be like they treat me. You're not gonna treat me like a motherfucking thing. It's gonna be understood. You're gonna treat me just how I want you to.
Right.
You're not.
Indeed.
What you mean? Let me. What you mean? Look at my black face, bitch. I'm her.
That part.
What do you
What do you
mean? And
mean?
I,
What do
I
you
ain't got to
mean?
show you. I ain't got to talk about it. It's right here in yours. I'm at work, working, do all the shit y'all tell me personally. I think the conversation. This is just how I feel. But the whole conversation, everybody got that. We don't have nothing. They never gave us nothing. They did all this terrible shit. I think I'm a bad motherfucker because they didn't do everything that you can fucking imagine towards me to tell me I ain't gonna be nobody, nothing. And here I am. Once again, they still looking at my black face.
These are facts.
I ain't jumped out no window because I went broke. I ain't killed myself. I ain't hurt my babies. None
These
of
are the
the things
facts.
is supposed to trigger and stress you. And then on top of this, you telling me that I'm watching black people die all around me and everything, and I'm still sane. I'm not no dummy, so you're not gonna talk to me like one. You'll never make me feel like I'm unintelligent. You know why? Because I'm intelligent.
These are the facts.
They
These
can't
are
change.
the
They can't
facts.
take that from me. How I feel about my fucking self, they can't take that away from me. So hell no, ain't nobody made me feel unintelligent because I'm black. You know why, Quan? Because I'm intelligent.
These the facts. In that
I be
order.
living away from conversations that people may assume that I'm not intelligent, but when they walk away from the conversation, I think, I really don't give a fuck how they feel. I know what I said, I know what I did, I know what I meant, and that's what it is.
And that part of it is what it is.
And this is what you need to put in your children instead of sitting around here telling your kids they won't let us have nothing. Go get it. You can have whatever the fuck you
You
want to.
won't.
And
That
trust me,
part.
son, they go do everything they can to stop you, but you so phenomenal. You so dope. Everybody want to be like you so much. Watch you do it. But
These the
y'all don't tell
facts.
y'all kids that. Y'all
I
tell y'all
do.
kids, let them
So
let you have it. Shook and jive. Make sure you shook and jive so you can get something. Go beg them people for their stuff. I'm not saying I'm with segregation, but if you don't want me somewhere, and this ain't with white people. I'm talking about people, period. Quan, right now you tell me you don't like me, I'm not moving next door to you. The fuck I'm gonna move next door to you for and you don't want me there?
these the
I'm
facts.
all right with people not liking me, and I'm gonna get the fuck away from you if you don't. I'm not gonna go get 6 people to say let me move next door to you and you don't like me. That ain't
Right.
my protest. My protest is can we get them same books so I can teach mine? Cause I don't
These
need you to do it.
facts.
Cause I'm so motherfucking dope. I don't need you to do it.
Them the
I'm not sitting
facts.
here telling nobody I don't want to teach my kids. I'm gonna teach my kids. Who else
Right.
go do it? The key word, they yours.
Yours. They yours.
Don't make
They
me start
yours.
yelling about all of it. This is not what I came here for. I just said a lot of cuss words. I started this
So
this conversation off really swell and nice and didn't I tell you I have to humble myself? I'ma calm down.
but it's okay. So as
I'ma
of right
calm
now,
down.
what are some of the things that you are seeing that as far as what's coming out of the CDC for some of the options as far as once school start back? Because we actually transitioning into school getting ready to start back. And in some places they actually consider sending children back to actually physical school. Um
Yeah. Well,
wow.
here, we start school August 10th. The beginning date of our school year is August 10th.
August 10th.
It's an option. You can virtual learn or you can send your children to school. I personally, um, you just said the word CDC. You know what I'm saying? That means the Center for Disease Control. Now, here in America, for you people who don't understand, these are the people who deal with all our diseases, everything, herpes, AIDS, Ebola, corona, syphilis, all of the shit that these people got a big storage bin, then did all the research, then did everything. So these is the top people here in America for about sickness. You understand me? Donald Trump, he's a good businessman because I'm not going to knock him. I'm not a hater. Just because I don't like somebody, I won't not give them their props. That's a hater. When you just, because you don't like a motherfucker, just totally just don't give them their props, lie on them. But I'm not a hater. Good businessman. He's not a
Definitely is.
doctor. Bill Gates, I have to say this, Dr. CB, if the conspiracies is true, they killed him because he said he had cures for certain diseases. And one of the rebuttals, the main rebuttal was he was not a licensed professional doctor. I'm still trying to figure out why the technology man is on TV trying to tell me what to do with my health. Nobody showed me this motherfucker's degree in health and science, not even a certification. Where is his CPR certification? Let alone where he can get up here and tell 6 billion people this is how they should take care of themselves and prevent this virus. You understand what I'm saying? Fuck Bill
Facts.
Gates. But
That
stick
part.
to the computers. Make sure my phone stop fucking going dead every 5 minutes and the plugs and shit stop working. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So the CDC said, I mean, and this is facts. You can go look this shit up. The CDC said, don't put them in school, period. Because environments such as those are breeding grounds for the disease. So, as for myself, we're virtually learning. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do virtually learning. A lot of people have chose to go back into brick and mortar schools. Well, the CDC also has a guideline. It's called a readiness and planning tool later on we'll post the links. You guys can go check it out. That if I was a parent that was sending my child back to school before the first day they entered that school, I would go get that readiness and planning tool, because it's a PDF full of a list of things and criteria that schools should adhere to, that if you're going to open up classrooms and have these kids in here, you're supposed to be able to, I mean, per the CDC, the schools are supposed to be able to allow you to walk through these schools and make sure that the criteria is checked off. If enough things doesn't meet the criteria for you, because this is a personal thing, I can't tell nobody what to do with their children. My personal opinion, once again, I'm a broadcaster, I'm no health professional, but my personal opinion is I wouldn't send mom back off in there. But if you choose to, there's a readiness and planning tool that you can get to make sure that your school is doing what it is supposed to in order to keep your child, educators, and staff, because you got to think about your janitors, your cooks. Let's not forget our housekeepers, because I love my cooks in school, because some of them days I forgot my quarter and she still let me get my plate, just in
So
real life. So don't knock them either. Make sure that the school is adhering to these tools before you put your babies back off in there, because the CDC says not to do it. They also have some suggestions that that they say, like, principles that you're supposed to keep in mind before sending but the very first principle is don't send them. And then they start going into low, medium and high
yeah,
risk. And the
ours is
highest risk is putting them all in school together, straight
ours
up.
is saying as long as we're in phase 4, that you can send the children back as long as they have the appropriate personal protective equipment, including face coverings. No more than 50 individuals from the gathering in one space. Required social distancing will be observed as much as possible. Okay. Required that schools conduct symptom screenings and temperature checks are required, that individuals self-certify that they are free of symptoms before entering school building and
That's the
upon
temperature
leaving.
check at the door.
Yes, required
And
and
this
an
is only for
increase in
people
school-wide
that's showing
cleaning
symptoms.
and
That's not
disinfecting.
asymptomatic people.
Right, which it'll spread to anybody if they're asymptomatic, right?
Right. Well, no,
Um,
it will spread. They just won't be sniffling and coughing and feeling bad. They'll be
requires
walking
that the
around,
school
sitting in the
district.
school with you, telling you to let them see your book, and got it. That's asymptomatic. Is when you have it, you just aren't showing symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sharing my book with nobody, no way. So
Quan, how old is your youngest school age child?
4,
He go to school?
she
She go to school, she in pre-K that half
no,
a
she
day?
she ain't going to nothing. She at
No,
home.
I'm saying when she went to half a day?
Yeah.
Okay. And the baby above her, how old is they? In what grade?
Okay, my son Ashton,
And he's how old?
he's in first grade.
So 6 roughly.
Yeah, he's at.
Okay. Now your 4, these your kids we talking about. We ain't talking
Mm-hmm.
about other people's little kids. We know, and you a good daddy. I ain't even gonna put you. I ain't gonna make you the fucked up daddy, because I know you. I know you, so I think you're raising your children right. Tell me, do you think your 4-year-old and your 6-year-old is gonna wear that fucking mask for 8 hours?
Fuck no.
You. I'm talking about
Fuck
your
no.
kids.
Fuck no. They gonna snatch that shit
They go
off.
wash their hands 5 times a day after they go
No.
pee
They might do that.
without,
They gonna do that. But anything else?
they
Hell no.
forget. They nasty. We talking about kids. And
Hell
I ain't
no.
saying all of them. Every little bit of they big germ balls.
No,
Once
they is.
again,
But I will say
say
this.
this.
I
You
will say
understand?
this. My kids like washing their hands. They weird. But I ain't gonna even call them weird. Let me take that back. I played games with my kids that made them seem like they was fun, but they wasn't. I was that daddy. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
you were incentive. You were
Yes,
giving
I
out
was. I
incentives.
was. I was that. I'm finna trick you, daddy. Like one time, my son he want to eat his vegetables. I was like, son, you want to see through walls? You got to eat your carrots. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna work. The dude banged off them carrots. You hear me? I was one of them. You know what I mean? He never got to see through walls, so eventually, I'm sure he realized I was
And
lying.
kept eating them carrots
But
like,
he ate.
if you eat a little bit more.
But listen though, he like dipping that carrot in that ranch and eating it. You hear me? So it's like certain things. That's just how I kind of got them. So
Great tools. I wish there were more like you. Those were great resources and tools. I wish. Didn't you just hear me say I'm an incentive parent as well?
yeah,
So,
but
so
it's
I
thing.
understand. Not gonna
But
call you a liar, my guy, because you
no,
know it's all for the good.
no, I agree. I agree with what you said before. I think that people try to focus on the wrong things too many times. Like I've been realized and understood. I don't spend the majority of the time with my children. So the time that I do spend with them, I need to really teach them how to handle themselves when they are out or when they do face and see certain things because they're gonna be exposed to it. As much internet that's out, I can't watch out everything that they watching and everything your kids watching and that. So when they all get together, ain't no telling what these kids talking about or exposing my children to, and they around that more than they would me. So I had to teach them how to know how to handle themselves when those things come and present it to them to know what's really good for me and what I need to stay away from. And that's the only thing that be important to me. Everything else, that's gonna be a choice that they choose to make because they them own individuals. And they
Right.
gonna do what they want to do. Even if they know right from wrong, they know they gonna get a whooping, they still gonna do it. They don't care if they know it. Oh, I
The
don't care
kid.
what the consequence is. I'm doing it. I was doing it. So only thing I could do is prepare them to be able to handle themselves for when those moments come. That's it. That's all. The rest is gonna be up to them in a sense.
Well,
To
we've
a certain
we've
situation.
discussed. I think I've gotten familiar with you. You've gotten familiar with me
Indeed.
before COVID. This crazy. We've had such similar experiences during this COVID. You know what I'm saying? So now
Indeed.
is the question of shit. What we do now? What like it's because like I'm just homeschooling from now. But I have to say this. I broke up with my public school system before COVID. I broke
Okay.
up with them. Like we was. I'm gonna do it myself before COVID. But for people that there was never something on their radar, never in their existence. Like, what do we do now? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like what could and because it's not my situation, don't mean that I don't think about it for people. Like,
Right.
what do we do now? Like, what is my homegirl that I just gave a ride to? How she go get her baby to school every day? Or what is my homegirl that I know she be kicking it way too much to just sit down and she ain't even gonna get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and get that baby up because it's not just making them do the work. It's still initiating routine in their life. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And the thing about homeschooling is that routine comes from you. If you as the person don't have routine, structure, and responsibility in your life, how can you teach and or pass that on to your children?
Indeed.
Like, what are some of the things? Like, what if you have friends that currently have kids at home? And I ain't saying your friends don't like their kids, but I'm saying just because we've all complained
I
about
mean,
this shit.
I've seen people that don't like their kids. Don't get me wrong. Everybody I
Yeah,
know ain't perfect. I didn't see
yeah,
like
but I'm just saying, but we've all complained.
I can't wait to get these little what.
We've all complained. What is like the number one outside of them just being there? What is the in okay, outside of them just being there in work, like amongst your friends, what
Some
are
people
some of
don't
the
have
number
some.
one complaints?
I'm gonna say that some people don't have the patience to literally teach their kids, and not in the sense of like really understanding how their child learns and then knowing how to incorporate things that will teach them that in a sense. You get what I'm saying? So it's like if this math homework comes home, I don't really understand how the teacher done told you to do it. You know what I'm saying? But me, I know my way of how I used to do it. So I try to teach that to the child, right? But two things comes from that, right? Now I done told you how to do it the way that I do it, but that's wrong when you get at this class. You see what
I
I'm saying?
understand that.
So it's like to a certain part, it's like a mixture of frustrations because as you try to sit down with them, you're trying to explain something that you barely halfway remember. Then on top of that, they don't have the attention span to really even listen to half of what you're talking about at that point. So it's like I think that's what most of the frustration kind of comes with when it comes to sitting down and actually doing some of the curriculum with the child. It's That's really what's a disconnect. We haven't been in
And
school.
also, some people just don't have patience. Like some people don't have the patience to
Yeah, that
learn their
part too.
children's like learning styles. Like you have different type of ways of learning. You have
Yeah.
audio people, you have visual people, you got to show me people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think, but it's a double edged sword because I think I'm kind of glad it happened. Get to know your baby because
Right.
those are great reasons. But in the end of it, when we really take away all our complaints and how we feel about it, those are things you should know. You should have patience enough to sit down with your baby, give
Hmm.
them instruction that's going to be beneficial to their life. You understand? I'm
Hmm.
not saying learn how to read because it's the thing to do. It is necessary in the land you live in.
Hmm.
You understand? I didn't say go get a fucking college degree, but if you cannot even read the application, how will you take care of your family?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand the complaints. I I'm that's my part. I'm sick of the complaints. If that is your complaint, if that is your problem, what is the way to fix it? Is my biggest thing. Like that's my whole thing with the back and forth on who suffered more or they did this to us. Now what we go do though? Yeah, they hit that nigga with that water hose. They bit that nigga with that dog. Now how we go stop that?
Right.
You know what
So
I'm
so
saying?
what's this system that you have been working on or have came up with down there?
Well, my my shout out to Barry Russell. Magnificent Hands Massage and Therapy, official sponsor of the Me and Ma Show, as well as Big Smoke Cigar. We have come up with a curriculum, as we have been talking about every day. This particular curriculum is geared for early education, which that encompasses K through third grade. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about my high schooler? What about my middle schooler? Right now, we're focused on early childhood development because your babe's not going to make it to high school or to middle school without, because in our state, I'm not for sure about Chicago, we have mandatory in fourth grade, they have mandatory reading tests. If they fail this test, not if they fail math, science, this reading test, if they fail it, they cannot pass on. It's just,
Yeah,
and a
I
couple
think
of
we got
kids that,
that. We got a
yeah,
test
and
like
I
that
know a
here for
couple of
like
kids that they
third
had to
grade.
stay in school twice because they can't get
Yeah,
past that test in fourth
yeah.
grade. So the curriculum is geared for early education, kindergarten through third grade. It's called the I Can Read series. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see?
Yeah, we
Can
can
you
see it.
see? It's I Can Read my letter. What? Who is this? Numbers, shapes, and colors. This one is the I Can Read My Alphabet series, and they also come with flashcards that reiterates these lessons in the book.
Hmm.
Now, the great thing about the book is once again, we were talking about that pride and having a sense of self-esteem about yourself. One thing I've known is affirmations, mantras, just positive things. When you continuously put, I've seen it. I do it every day. Every day.
Hmm. Me too.
Quan, you get the good morning beauty, don't you? Yeah.
Hmm.
You hear me? You know how many people hit me in my inbox like, "Thank you. The day was fucked up. I just needed somebody to tell me I was a little awesome." You hear me?
Right.
So what we do know is one, self-representation boosts your self-esteem when it comes to academic learning. One who
Hmm.
feels good about themselves has an easier time learning and succeeds a little more than the person who doesn't. So these books also include mirrors on the inside. So as you and your child are sitting down reading, they can see themselves. You understand what I'm saying? They see a self-representation of their self. They're also affirmations and mantras. I can, which, do my alphabets. I can because I see I can. Not they letting me. You understand what I'm saying? I can because I see I can, because I know I can. It's a positive reaffirmation for your child. The one of the
I
best
love
things
that.
about
I love
one of the
that.
best things about this book,
Hmm.
because once again, I understand being a single parent. Been there, done that. Thank you, Jesus. Shout out to the Fisher Gang, the love of my life. Everybody know him. So I understand the real struggle of being a working single parent. Um, so school supplies and school clothes and shit is expensive. What I can't do, is buy you some clothes. But with these books, do you understand me? They're dry erase. You simply need a dry erase marker and an eraser. And if you don't want to get the eraser, a little piece of tissue and a little spray of alcohol, it'll get you on. You know, I'm with the bootlegs and the crafties until you can get your money up. You understand what I'm saying? But a dry erase marker, which means you will never have to go get another packet. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're there. You simply erase. Make your kids take care of their stuff, which is a lesson you're supposed to teach anyway. Um, it goes from A through Z, and every sentence starts with "I can," which is a very big thing. The thing that I like about this series the most is it don't matter who you are, because you were saying earlier, about your academic achievements, how
Mhm.
you didn't forgot some things because you wasn't really paying attention to
Mhm.
the Revolutionary War in eighth grade. You didn't care about
Yeah.
world history for real. So today, as a 30-something-year-old man, you like, who cares? And then they bring it back with your kids. I understand the remix. The thing about this series is, though, no matter if you are a novice, I mean, if you dropped out in the fifth grade to the highest paid educator, professional, you can be a professor. This
Mhm.
curriculum is teachable. You understand what I'm saying? The main thing in this curriculum that you need is time with your children. But that is
Mhm.
bonding. That is important. That is letting them know that you are the significant dominant person in their life. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, the books are 20, if and they're available right now. You understand? Get your baby on. Make
Well,
put
tell
put
us where we can
invest into
find
your
them.
kids.
Tell us then.
29, listen, 29.99 for the book. But the set, which includes two books and the flashcards, is $50. Right now, while I'm on your show, I'm about to challenge you, and I need you to send this challenge on through the world.
Right.
Listen, if your son got on some, who is them people? Some Vapor Max, some Fruity Pebbles, if he got on some SpongeBob's, any of them shoes that is, if you right now sitting over there, Quan, got on some 125 Jordans, I'm challenging you right now to purchase a set of these books for that baby. And then I want you to challenge somebody else to take they want, sacrifice they J, your cigars, your blunts, whatever it is that you'll spend that same money on. I'm challenging you to sacrifice it and get your baby a set of these books, the I Can Read series. We will post the links where you can hit me up and contact me for the seller information, and we'll get them to you. They're ready to go right now. This is an investment that I think people should really put into their children because it's more than just the education. It's the bonding. It's relationships. A lot of things that are encompassed in this. And being that we are currently about to go into a homeschool
No, ain't
situation,
no Al in
oh
here with me.
No, them is the facts. And that's the best thing that I do love. I read in one of the comments too. Somebody said that they love the mirror. That is a very great part. I did love the mirror being put in there, and the affirmations being at the top because you are absolutely correct. You will absolutely see a difference as far as like your children gonna actually love to read that part, and you gonna start to notice the difference between how excited they are to actually read when it comes to that. Because I've got my daughter a couple affirmation books where it's saying I am beautiful and I am this and I am that, and she love it. Like she like,
it
can
is
I read the book?
scientifically proven that when you feel good about yourself, you're successful.
No, they're not.
These
You
are the
understand
facts.
what I'm saying? Who
These are the
even in
facts.
work, you
Well,
have you have some of your best days at work
should have
when
put
you
it in your
feel
mouth.
Feel
good.
good. These the
When you
facts.
walk in there feeling fucked up,
That
that
means you
day
should
just
have ate
seemed
two
like it's
potatoes.
long and tiring, and you ready to go. You understand what I'm saying? You
She
wake
want
up with
my
a good
potato.
spirit that morning. It just seemed like I'm here, especially you get to selling real good or whatever it is that you do
Right,
for a
my
living.
Uh-huh.
potato.
Woo, baby, you hear me? You get to go home. Oh, baby, I did that. I'm here.
Do you know the link where they can purchase it at? Can we drop the link in there somehow?
We will drop the links in after the show. I would definitely get the links to you. You can drop the links in the comments where they can purchase these books because I would definitely appreciate it if you all did. Not for me, for
Oh, okay.
you.
These the facts. That part, because we need them. All of us with these young children, especially all of us, especially we're looking at how things may be going up here. Those things will be good things to have
Yeah, she ain't all that.
in order to keep
Yeah.
curriculum at home to keep your child on track, regardless of whatever's going on here
We'll definitely
and
post
at
the
their
links in the
school.
comments. And you can also hit me up on Facebook at Sheba Sheep. You can hit my inbox. You can DM me at Simply Sheba 6 on Instagram and on Snap. So I don't really be on Snap, it's for the young. I don't really have the time to take all them pictures and shit, but I understand that this is one of the tools that people use. Just holler at me, man. Like I said, I just really want you all to spread the word. I've already sent the challenge out to you though, Quan. So, buddy, please don't make
I'm
me get
finna.
on the Me and My show next week and be like, let me tell y'all about my buster ass homie. You hear me? Don't make me, because I'm being cool today. I will rag on you. Do you hear me?
Nah, you're not gonna have to do that. You're not gonna have to do none of that. Only thing you're gonna
And
be showing.
once, but I want you to spread this challenge around, man, to all the parents, to all the teachers, because, some people teachers got kids too. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
And
the truth.
like I said, your education level is not, this curriculum is not determining on your education level. Anybody can teach this curriculum to your children, and that's one outside of the affirmations and the reinforcing the positive image of themselves. That is the best thing about these books. It's not because it's not rocket science. Anybody can literally do this. Another little kid in sixth grade can teach the third grader this curriculum. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
I mean, and if you got several like me, sometimes the older ones got to get the little ones. So,
or she's the real
I
facts.
mean, I'm talking about a real grind, you know what I'm saying? Real
Oh
family business
man.
affair. I
Hey,
mean, and
we got it.
what's not more important than these babies?
In that order. And that's the
Before we
realest
hit
thing,
that, I want to
too.
ask one quick question. Has the school system said anything about what they're going to do about trying to social distance in an overcrowded environment? If you got 30 kids in the classroom that can barely fit in there to begin with,
I
how
can't
in
really
the
hear
world?
you.
She said, was there anything being said about the capacity as far as some of these things that's going on? I know in Illinois, ours said 50, but she was saying we barely can get 30 kids in a space or in a classroom.
No,
So.
they haven't had a set number in Oklahoma City. I can pull it up for you just a moment. They don't have a set number. It's try to keep your classroom sizes as small as possible. They want you to roll in the same way. They haven't set out when you're enrolled, these are the teachers, these will be the sizes of the classrooms. No, they've just said these. The only thing they said is we're going to open up our schools, and that's for everybody. It's not a set amount of children or these particular grades or nothing. You have an option to bring them here or teach them at home. And these are the things that we're going to institute to keep your kids safe. I personally don't feel like the things that they institute, like, I'm not saying that they don't work. I'm just saying with that amount of people, that there's no way for the crowd control. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you like, you don't have here, we don't have enough staff to mitigate the amount of children for you to tell me that you can monitor all these children in a bathroom breaks. And indeed, and it get done in a cohesive manner that no one will get sick. Um, there's not a plan that that I'm
That
not
can't
well with.
happen. The institution's not even big enough, first of all. And then
Exactly.
we got some of these kids that's been packed into institutions because of their school being torn down or taken away. So
Right.
realistically, you know, in a
And
whole
then
here.
sometimes it not even as serious as that. It's simple as my son bad and he think it's funny to play like he go cough on people. Just walk up and be like, I mean, the kids, they do stupid shit is what I'm saying. Fuck all them teachers and they extra. We go do this and we go do that. I'm talking about the fucking kids. You understand? Them kids think it's funny to like snap each other's necks and shit. I be hearing them kids running around neck, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you in middle school, them two people that only go together when they see each other in school, they go kiss, motherfucker, because I ain't seen you in 3 weeks because we've been on COVID.
You
They go
right.
kiss in the 7th grade and 8th grade. Fuck them teachers. See, y'all done made me start cussing again. It ain't even about, with me, it's not even about, it's not a safe, I keep saying it's just not a safe environment in my mind. And it ain't
It's
got
not.
nothing to do with the
It's
teachers are
not
not
though.
going
You're
to do what
right.
they're
You're
supposed to do.
right.
Kids are kids.
You're
You
right.
understand me? Sometimes little boys, I'm not saying that you don't teach them to wash their hands. Sometimes they go real. I have a son. And sometimes I gotta say, hey, dude, go back in there and wash your hands. Cause he is moving real
Real
fast in
fast.
between basketball practice, football practice, changing out this fucking uniform, getting these shoes, grabbing the backpack, and catching the ride. He forgot. Go back and wash your hands. I don't know what girls he kissing on at school. Cause my son 15 and he popular. You understand? I don't know who house he done crept over after school and shit and then came back home and gave me the COVID.
Right.
I don't know what little girl he all up in there thinking he cute with. And then you got asthma, so you sure can't get it. Because it attacks your lungs. You understand? It's a respiratory disorder.
You sound like my damn mama talking about some, you gotta ask, stay out.
Stay the fuck away from people. Didn't I just tell you my kids are socialites? So
Right.
it's not, if they was introverts and just wanted to sit at home and read fucking books, I wouldn't be even talking.
It's not that easy.
My 12-year-old, she really, really wants to go back to school. Cause she really like she in the 6th grade on a 9th grade level, but that's not about the academics with her. She really like to go see her friends. She dance. She's a cheerleader. She run track. You understand what I'm saying? She like all her club activities. And she don't like being there with me because I don't care about none of that. Do that work.
Right. These are facts.
And then on top of that, being there with me all day, and she don't get to do her club activities because those was away times from my mean ass. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I understand the kids. It is scientific fact that the kids need a social environment. This is why we went from homeschool back to brick and mortar because I'm gonna need you to know how to interact with these other motherfuckers around you. You know what I'm trying to say? So I can keep like, we ain't even got the 2. We only got the hour. So, but please, the I Can Read series, man, please. So y'all won't be sitting up here, in 3 more months. Like, y'all already don't like them. I don't want you to hate your kids. Bond with these people in a fun atmosphere. Give your kids something to look forward to because this is supposed to be their new normal. You know what I'm saying? Tell you, find ways. And, it also, I almost forgot, it also comes in Habla Espanol. We have it in Spanish as well. You understand what I'm saying? We're not exclusive. This curriculum is for everybody. All the kids, the white kids, the black kids, they all out of school.
She said, habla español. Yeah.
You understand me? I only say that because America made us learn the Spanish. I grew up in a time where the phone, when you call the 1-800 number, the lady just came on the phone. Then all of a sudden, one day I called the 1-800 number and the bitch told me to push 1 for English. What's going on around here? What happened with that? You understand what I'm saying? And then one day I was walking in the store and it was nothing. Then I seen a Sahabla Espanol sign. And then a whole bunch of Mexican stores start popping up and I seen Sahabla Inglés signs. You understand? Like, we Mexicans, but we speak English. And then the English people were saying, we English, but we speak Spanish. So therefore, America cultivated the Hispanic. I mean, I remember, the year they told me that, and when I was in college, that Spanish is a required course. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of an elective. Yeah. See, look at your face. That's what I'm saying. So they cultivated a culture.
You see me, I'm lost. I'm like, shit, damn, when I got to school,
this is why I'm so mad at America. Already. Not Donald Trump. America. Because they cultivated an atmosphere for the Hispanics and our Latinos. I stand with you, brothers. You understand? They cultivated a culture, got what they want, and then how dare you fucking tell them these people need to leave? What do you mean, bitch? I gotta push 1 for English. Let them stay here. What do you mean? You invited them like America do with that lady up there, but that's a whole nother show.
Another story. We're gonna get that's on that.
We're talking about education.
Talking about education today.
Education.
Right. But the one thing
they come in Spanish. The books come in Spanish.
That Quan said that's very, very crucial. And a lot of people need to think about is there going to be a whole bunch of kids just like Quan's kid when they go back to school, because there's been a whole bunch of lies told to these children, and if they watch Hidden Colors, if they've been watching anything going on, if they've heard about George Floyd,
they just went through George Floyd. And they got TikTok. They don't have to Google shit. It's enough people throwing out screenshots and links.
Yeah. But they're going to have a lot. But these people are now going to have a lot of questions for their teachers because they've been told these lies for so many years. When it comes to Chicago,
they're not lies. They're not. Listen, we have to really. This is the one thing this is why I tell people to read. It's not just reading. Comprehension is very important because nothing in the school that they teach is a lie. It fucking happened. It's not what they say, it's what they don't say. Because them white men did everything they said they did. You understand what I'm saying? That history really happened. It's just excluding some shit. It's just missing out some shit. Like when they talk about the natives, tell these people how you gave these people smallpox in the history. You didn't whoop them on some horses with your cowboys and your guns and shit. That ain't how it went. Tell them how them people was turning y'all motherfucking ass up. Y'all went under the auspice of friendship, gave them some motherfucking blankets and materials to help move them to a new land, as you said. If you don't believe me, look up the Trail of Tears. These is facts. This is history.
These is all
you
facts.
understand me? What was in them blankets was smallpox, and they decimated a whole population of people.
That's what I'm talking. These kids are finding this stuff out now, and when they're going back to school, this is not in their books. So they're gonna have a lot of questions for their teachers.
But don't tell your kids they lying. Tell your kids they telling you every bit of the truth, but it's some more to that. You understand me? They not lying. People remix shit all the time. I ain't mad because okay, so what? He got the peanut butter and then the white man remixed it and put his name on it. Y'all listen to music that's remixed all the time and y'all have no problem with it. Y'all listen to people tell you to do dope, be a junkie, steal other people's shit. That ain't no problem with it. Once again, have more pride in your fucking self. They over there proud and telling their kids what it is. You understand me? Be proudful. And that ain't privilege. They feel like that, bitch. They feel better than you. Nobody said it was true. What I'm saying is they feel it. And you let them. Because you over there feeling fucked up and feeling like they are better than you. Instead of saying, no, bitch, when they come with what you call lies. No, this is what I know to happen.
They're in the facts.
Yeah. I mean, they had debates for a reason. You don't have to do all that cussing and calling people names and stuff.
No, nothing that affected them.
I'm going to give y'all some homework. The William F. Buckley and James Baldwin debate. That man won by over 300. You hear me? 300 votes. If you know debating. You understand me? 300 votes. You understand me? Just articulating his feelings and having a pride about his damn self. He was gay. He was a gay black man on top of that in the fucking 50s. So he wasn't just catching it from white people. You extra masculine, what they call y'all hyper masculine. I really like your hyper masculinity. I mean, so much masculinity is leaving around this motherfucker. I like a mean man. But anyway, whole nother show. You know, so even you hyper masculine African American males, I still do it right now to this day. Bash other men. Yeah, it's people who don't even listen to me. It is a girl that can really walk in the store, really walk next to me and think because she got on a dress. Listen to me. Her dress, in her mind, her dress or her shoes determine if she better than me or not. You see how fucking crazy that is?
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at that though, because y'all all falling for it. Because right now you telling me if I don't own VVS's and Benz's and shit, then I'm a broke bitch. I ain't shit. Everything. And I'm a better person than a lot of these rich motherfuckers. Because I believe in other shit like morals, ethics, you know, shit they don't give a fuck about to get their riches. That's why they won't give it to me. Because I'm going to make them stand up to a standard. So no, bitch, you can't have none of the money. Because we can't convince you to do the wrong shit.
These are facts. I know that all too well.
I mean... You know, so no, they ain't lying to our kids. They telling they kids, because remember y'all marched. Remember Malcolm and them little girls that got them rocks thrown at them, marched to go to school with them. Because they been telling their kids that. It was when we got in there, we figured out they wasn't telling them a shit about us. Why they got to? Why won't you? Again, homeschool your kids, man. Y'all want them to tell your kids about y'all. The people that don't even look like you, don't live with you, don't be around you. You want them to tell them about y'all. Did you hear what she said? They're not. Fuck them. You tell them. But again, homeschool your kids. $29.99 per book. But your best bet is to get the whole set for $50. You get 2 books. The I Can Read, the shapes, numbers, and colors, and the flashcards. $50 all day long. Not even no taxes. That's how cold we come. You want
Exactly. And the most important part about that about those books is those mirrors, because representation matters. When the kids can look in a book and see someone that looks like them and better yet themselves, that's going to help them with their self-esteem. The main problem that we have in these schools is these kids do not believe in themselves because they are held to this crazy ass standard. Like she said it perfectly. If you don't have this, if you don't have that, there are schools right now that you walk into. If you don't have the whatever the cool thing is, then you're ostracized. Imagine having that situation. They wonder why they're having all these kids attempting to take their own lives. Imagine going to school.
I ain't never seen so much suicide in my life. I agree with you there.
Hold on. Look, I'm gonna tell you what happens. because every single time it happens, the parents always say, "We don't know what occurred." Blah blah blah. Bullshit. There was something in that situation that you ignored. When your child comes home and you ask them how their day was, when they say okay, if you don't dig deeper and it's just okay, you are ignoring your kid because they have, if they're not, every single time they come home and that's the extent of the conversation, something went wrong there. Ask what happened. Too many parents weren't doing that, and that's how that situation happened. There are too many schools. There are so many kids that are going to school, and the teachers are being disrespectful. The classmates are being disrespectful. The principals are being disrespectful. Sometimes the parents don't care. When the kid thinks they have no other option, that's when that occurs. That's what people don't
they get
understand.
the fucking attitude like anybody else. Fuck it.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Like, what is the
You
point of
know?
you being here? So what I'm saying about your book was going to be so crucial is that these kids can now look into a book and see themselves in a positive light. There are
Right.
so many things right now where our kids don't see themselves in a positive light. They see themselves on video acting crazy, this and that. They see themselves being called every name in the book, especially now. So the fact that they're able to look into a book and see them and be like, oh, I can do this.
Right.
I will be able to thrive. I will be able to grow. I will make history. I am a part of history. That is huge.
It
Quan, I
definitely
think
is.
you had some people wanted to ask you some questions.
It definitely is.
They was my phone. You heard my phone over here dinging. I had to mute it. That's
I'm
because he
not
my friend, y'all.
most of
think
the
So I
co-
get his
most
notifications.
most of
so
those
somebody go
most of
ahead.
them comments was for you, love. They saying they love Sheba.
Well, no, that's my whole point. I had to figure out how to love Sheba. You understand what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to think that first and foremost. Before I leave, I need to get a very clear understanding of I had to learn to love me. You know, I truly did. I had to, cause I was really bad with it, with the fuck them. I mean, but on the
Make a
negative
full
end
screen.
of it, they did this to us. They don't. I mean, I was on that once upon a time, and
Right.
it took, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't even that. It was just I really sat back and got to looking around, like, cause I'm not a continuously complaining. When I was saying it though, my whole thing was while I'm saying this, I want to do something. I don't want to just talk about this because I really wanted to, because it my empathy level is so high that I really, really wanted it to stop. Everywhere I went, I asked people questions. With doing my show, it makes me talk to a lot of people, whether they're
Right.
artists, whether they're businessmen, whether it's just, I even had a dating show that, well, like 5 years ago, dating in 2015, because from the time I had started dating to then, it had changed. Social media had got involved with going with people.
Right.
I had old school shit. Give me your number. I'ma call you. The phone on the wall, and if you
Can
fancy,
we
we got
make
a cordless. You
can we
know what
make
I'm
Sheba
saying?
full screen right now?
Yep.
But
Let's make let's make
Okay.
Sheba full screen.
but so I had to learn to love me. And when I looked around, I was just saying, like,
Right.
I don't feel like everybody else because I really feel good about myself. Like,
Right,
I
Lord.
never like nobody's really ever made me feel like a nigga. I'm not saying they haven't called me one or nothing, but my me loving me so cold, like when I'm at work, the kind of discrimination I go through is like socialism. It's not really racism. It's like
Mm-hmm.
socialism. And a lot of discrimination I've went through with my own folks. Didn't I just tell you it's a nigga on the street that think he better than me because he wear a Jordan? You know what I mean? But then I turn around and see a whole set of people get mad because the lady at the beauty store, it's the man at the beauty store called the chick a nigger her. And 2 days later, it was a protest. We ain't fucking with them and this, that. It only lasted 2 weeks because none of the bitches wanted to give up their sew-ins to shut them people down. You understand? They needed their hair products, and them saying nigga wasn't that bad and shit. So I was like, I don't really think I think people really don't care about what other people do to them unless it's a self-serving thing or something, or you can get some kind of attention. Cause like even for me, the woke shit is just a trendy thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a trendy situation. It's not people genuinely authentic, trying to educate themselves. It can't be. Look at our kids. Look at us. You can't be really on bettering each other. I mean, in the same moment that I seen somebody say tell that white man, and I really went to like 3 funerals. And I'm not saying it's not black on black. That's stupid to even put the white people fucking kill each other, man. And sometimes I don't even like having these conversations because people want to engage me in the race shit, and I be saying, no, in my life, people have fucked me up. I can tell you about some niggas that did me wrong. And I mean, black people, I'm not one to get all sensitive about the N word because it don't fuck with me like that. And I can tell you about some white people. I can tell you how the Middle Eastern man at the store just tried to steal my $10 on the pump the other day. You in real life. The Middle Eastern man. Now I could have called him a whole bunch of tail heads and everything, but I chose not to. I chose to handle the situation accordingly, and I got my gas and I went on about my business. But what I'm saying is that it all starts with you, the way you think about yourself and what's going to go on with you. I choose to care about other people. I feel some kind of way about other people. This not mine. I've been telling y'all the whole conversation. As far as me and my life, me and my kids is straight. But I look around me and see other people need help. I look around me and see that I can actually do something. And I'm not talking about like get on Facebook or share, look at how this cop did this. I mean, genuinely go over my friend's house and say, friend, you want me to help these kids with their work? Because that's where it started. It started with one person at a time. It's not, oh, I need 50,000 people to help me. I've made a lot of changes out here and I'm not looking for no recognition. I don't want to be the only one though. And I'm making a change in my baby life. I just want I want y'all to make changes in y'all's. And it's not like for a bad thing. Being with your children, they're what we got left. You understand? And being with your children is a very important thing. Doing things like homework with them, activities, just downright talking to them, it builds bonds. Some of the things that y'all spend 3 and 4 weeks on, like pedophilia and people getting a hold of your fucking kids, if you spend more time with them, really talk to them, have decent conversations with them, enlighten them on things that they need to know in order to get around and spot like weirdos, instead of the narrative being, yeah, get a nigga with money. We might not have so many little girls getting fucked by grown men. But don't nobody want to talk about that. And that's another conversation. That's not even what I'm here for. My whole purpose is just to tell you all, get homeschool with your children, because that's what we coming to. That's the world we coming to. And I really don't have anything else to say because we'll be here another 2 hours. And I know these good people want to enjoy their Sunday. And thank you so kindly for, taking this hour and a half and listening to me and letting me be passionate about what I truly love, which is my beauties, you people, because that's what I do it for. Because I could go completely take all this off, go sit in my living room with my darling husband that loves me, raise my children, and never give a fuck about what happens to nobody else like the rest of the world. But I don't. I love y'all. My whole mission in life is to make sure we, like French, are all right. And you decide if you want to be a part of the we. I ain't gonna tell you black, white, nothing. You just decide if you want to be like, it's a club. If y'all like the shit me and Quan over here talking about, you free to join. If not, you free to go do something else. Ain't no pressure. Because pressure busts pipes. But I must remind you, we are the pressure. You understand?
In that order. I know y'all done synced the links and everything in the comment section. We're going to put the link so y'all can actually purchase the book and check the book out in the comments as well. Following the live. She will let them know where they can follow you at as well. And we're going to close out on that note.
You can follow me. Well, let me remind you, for you people that probably just popped in, I am your hostess with the mostest, Simply Sheba. The slogan is, I do what I want and not what I can. You understand me? You got to live it every day. You can follow me on all social sites except for Snapchat. I keep telling y'all, I don't have that much time to take the papers. But you can follow me on Facebook at the Mia Ma Show and or Sheba Sheeb. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snap. It's Simply Sheba 6.
All right, in that order. And y'all know where to check us out at Talk of the Shop on all live platforms as well. And make sure y'all follow me at Real Quan on Instagram as well. And until next time, we definitely got to get Sheba back in the building for a part 2.
I would definitely let her come back. Yeah, because baby, there was some jewels in there that I was saying we ain't even got time to talk about that though.
Next time we're gonna come back for 2 hours, give you enough room to go ahead and knock everything out. But I appreciate you coming on the platform. I appreciate you giving us your insight and putting that out for us, because we do need things like that in our community. And I'm glad you took the initiative to be able to take that step to go out.
Before we go though, not
What's
only
up?
am I issuing this, before we go, not only am I issuing this challenge to Quan the Don, I'm also issuing this challenge to all my beauties, everybody that tunes in to the Talk of the Shy. Man, $50. If you buy that baby SpongeBob's and 120, because listen, my son 15 with a size 10, I know how much they cost. He play every sport known to man, so I know how much they cost. If you bought that $60 for Fortnite for him to get real sleepy and not learn shit but different guns, come on, I'm challenging you to spend that $50 instead of on that, on this.
That part. And I'm gonna be the first one to step up to the challenge. So I challenge everybody else to step up with it with me, and let's get that done. Let's get this curriculum out here and spread it out, because our babies need it in that order. All right. So until next time, we're gonna wrap everything up. So until next time, y'all make sure y'all tune in and keep everything locked with us right here at Talk of the Shot. You did.